Do you think the scariest moment in the age of dinosaurs was when a Tyrannosaurus opened its jaws? Wrong. By the time Tyrannosaurus appeared, the dinosaur story was already in its second half. Long before it was born, another group of dinosaurs had already turned Earth into a paradise of giants. That age was called the Jurassic. If the Triassic was the time when dinosaurs crawled out of the ruins and finally received their ticket in, then the Jurassic was the moment dinosaurs finally found their footing and Earth began upgrading the entire planet into a giant beast version. From this point on, dinosaurs were no longer small characters surviving in the gaps. They began to grow larger, taller, heavier. They became less like ordinary animals and more like moving mountains. Today, when you see an elephant, you already feel its size. But if you placed an elephant inside a Jurassic forest, it might not look that outrageous anymore, because in that age, Earth began mass-producing a new kind of monster, long-necked sauropod dinosaurs, Diplodocus, Brachiosaurus, and many other giants. So enormous, they almost feel unreal. When they walked through the forest, it was not like an animal passing by. It was more like a building, slowly moving in front of you. Their necks reached into the canopy, their tails dragged across the ground, their feet sank into the mud. With every step, the ground seemed to breathe. In a deep, low voice, you did not even need to see them. As long as you heard a heavy footstep in the distance, as long as you saw the trees begin to shake in waves, you would know something enormous was coming closer. This was the most exaggerated part of the Jurassic. In the Triassic, dinosaurs were still just survivors, standing at the edge of the ruins. But in the Jurassic, Earth was no longer only allowing them to survive. It began pushing them in one direction, bigger, and even bigger. But the Jurassic did not suddenly give dinosaurs a king filter. Its foundation was the mass extinction. At the end of the Triassic, that disaster cleared away many of their competitors. Large numbers of ancient crocodile relatives left the stage. Many of the players that had once stood above dinosaurs suddenly disappeared. The seats of the old world were left empty. And finally, dinosaurs no longer had to hide. At the edge, they began moving toward the center. At the same time, Earth itself was changing. Pangaea began to break apart. Seawater entered new regions. The climate became wetter. Forests expanded again. Ferns, cycads, and conifers spread across the land, one layer after another. For dinosaurs, this was like a server update. The map suddenly became larger. Resources increased, open spaces increased, and the chance to grow huge also increased. So dinosaurs began upgrading together. Small dinosaurs continued to run fast. Medium-sized dinosaurs took over new positions, but the truly outrageous ones were the giant plant-eating dinosaurs. They did not rule the world with sharp teeth, they ruled it with size. Imagine this: a modern human is suddenly thrown into a Jurassic forest. You open your eyes, the air is filled with the damp smell of plants. Around you is not a modern forest, it is a vast, ancient, unfamiliar green world. Tree trunks are as thick as pillars. Ferns rise as tall as small trees. Sunlight falls through gaps in the canopy, shining on mist and dust in the air. For a moment, you might think, this place is beautiful, but in the next second, the ground begins to shake. It is not an earthquake, it is footsteps. A giant sauropod dinosaur slowly walks out from deep inside the forest. Its neck rises high, its head almost disappears into the treetops. It does not look at you, it does not need to, because in front of it, you are as small as a stone on the ground. It simply keeps walking. One foot lifts, then falls. The mud collapses, the puddles tremble, and in that moment, you understand, this world was not designed for humans. It was not even designed for ordinary animals. It was designed for giants. But the Jurassic was not only filled with gentle giants. Wherever there are giant herbivores, there will always be hunters watching them. One of the most iconic predators of that age was Allosaurus. Do not compare it directly to Tyrannosaurus. Tyrannosaurus was a later ultimate version. Allosaurus was more like the wild hunter of the Jurassic. Its bite was not as extreme as Tyrannosaurus, but it appeared earlier. It was more agile, and it was dangerous enough. Its skull was long and narrow. Its teeth were sharp. Its forelimbs had not yet become useless decorations. It patrolled forest edges, riverbanks, and open plains. A rail hunter is often terrifying because it is quiet. If you hear a bush rustle in the Jurassic, do not assume it is only the wind, because in the next second, a pair of eyes may be staring at you from the shadows. In this age, giant sauropods were like moving skyscrapers. Allosaurus was like a patrolling blade. Stegosaurus carried a row of exaggerated plates on its back, with deadly spikes dragging behind its tail. Pterosaurs glided through the sky. Ichthyosaurs and plesiosaurs moved through the ocean. Land, sky, sea, every part of the world was filled with the shadow of the Mesozoic. Only now did Earth truly begin to look like the dinosaur age we imagine. But do not misunderstand. The Jurassic was not paradise. It was more like a giant ecological casino. Growing larger did bring advantages. If you were big enough, many predators would not dare to attack you easily. If your neck was long enough, you could eat leaves others could not reach. If your body was heavy enough, you could use size itself to suppress many threats. But the cost was just as obvious. You needed more food, more water, a larger space to move through. Wherever giant sauropods went, they changed the environment. Branches were ripped apart. Vegetation was crushed. Mud was stamped into pathways. Riverbanks became cloudy. Under their weight, they were not ordinary members of the ecosystem. They themselves were almost part of the ecosystem. And predators had to upgrade as well, because the prey was too large. Do you think a predator could simply use one mouth to bring down a beast weighing dozens of tons? Not that simple. The more realistic strategy was to target the young, the injured, the isolated, the ones that made a mistake. So the Jurassic may look like a paradise of giants, but behind every body size was a survival cost. If you were large, you carried large costs. If you were small, you faced small dangers. No one was truly invincible. Every form of life was making its own deal with the age it lived in. If the keyword of the Triassic was opportunity, then the keyword of the Jurassic was expansion. Dinosaurs expanded into more places. Their bodies expanded to more extreme sizes. Ecosystems expanded into more complex structures. It was as if Earth had discovered a new way to play. If dinosaurs could survive, then why not see how large they could become? So Earth gave them more resources, more space, more time, and in the end, it created an age of giants, so unreal that humans today can hardly believe it existed. When you stand in a modern city and look at skyscrapers, cars, and roads, you may think human civilization is magnificent, but in the Jurassic, a single giant sauropod was itself a breathing skyscraper. It did not need to build a city. It simply stood there, and you would understand. Earth had once written life on an entirely different scale. That scale was not prepared for humans. It was prepared for giants. But the most ironic part is this: dinosaurs turned the Jurassic into their golden age, yet they did not know that it was still only one page in Earth's archive. If the forest could support them, they were moving mountains. If the climate allowed them, they were the main characters of the age. If the food chain could feed them, they could stretch their necks toward the sky. But once the rules changed, even the largest body could become a burden. That is the coldest part of Earth. It can make you larger. It can make you thrive. It can place you at the center of the food chain. It can let you step on an entire age, but it never promises that the age will belong to you forever. The Jurassic does not tell us that dinosaurs finally won. It tells us that dinosaurs finally received a window of time, and inside that window, they pushed the scale of life to its limit. They made the land shake. They made the forests bow. They left their shadows across the sky and the sea. For that moment, Earth really did seem to belong to dinosaurs, but all belonging is temporary, because Earth's archive has never had a true main character. The Cambrian lit up monsters. The Carboniferous lit up giant insects. The Devonian lit up ocean killers. The Permian lit up destruction. The Triassic lit up survivors. And the Jurassic lit up giants. It tells every form of life that comes after. When an age gives you a chance, you may become unimaginably huge, but never forget, the same Earth that lets you stand up can also make you fall, because on this planet, being the ruler is never the ending. It is only the loudest footstep before the next page turns.